We are in the process of developing a strategy that's going to be very, very powerful. We've developed as we go along. Some areas of our country are doing very well. Others are doing less well. It will probably, unfortunately, get worse before it gets better. Something I don't like saying about things, but that's the way it is. President Trump holding his first coronavirus briefing since April, saying that the situation, as you just heard him talk about, may indeed get worse before it gets better. Joe Biden slammed President Trump ahead of that speech, saying that the president has, quote, quit on this country. Kellyanne Conway is senior counselor to the president, and she joins us now. Good morning, Kellyanne. Great to have you with us this morning. Good morning. I'm a bit of a shift back to the briefing which we saw yesterday. It was more brief than it has been in the past. And the president took a few questions. That's not on the schedule for today. What can we expect in terms of updates from the president? Well, I think it was incredibly important for the President, United States to provide information to the public, not confrontation with some press people there who are asking questions that have nothing to do with the development of vaccines and therapeutics through Operation Warp Speed. The information people want to know about nursing home, protecting our vulnerable populations that account for about half of the deaths of some of the states, got that very wrong in the beginning. We want to make sure vulnerable populations are protected. We've learned a great deal about the virus. Look, the briefing stopped in April, but the work never has. Here at the White House through Operation Works, which is about 2 months old, through the FDA, knocking down red tape and regulations, working with the private sector to develop these therapeutics and vaccines that will give people comfort to know that in maybe a few months, definitely by year's end, according to other doctors that we work with here, maybe even sooner, that we will have vaccines developed. U.S. Secretary Azar just this morning makes a news that we are given a contract to Pfizer to develop along with a German firm, up to 100 million doses of the vaccine. Last week, there was a report that 45 people in a study had all responded positively to that test. And that's going to, in 5 short days, be 30,000. So I think for the president himself to provide that information to the public, and to very humbly and forthrightly come forward and say, look, it's going to get worse before it gets better, wear a mask, socially distance, do these things that are important. And I would say to all those people out there who are resisting wearing a mask, listen, folks, it costs nothing. It takes 2 seconds and you get your liberties back sooner, if you wear your mask. But I mean, we know that there are people at home who listen to that and say, why? Why didn't the White House have this message for all of us? 2 months ago. Why? Why now? Why wasn't this pushed and emphasized and encouraged by the president back then where it might have made even more of a difference? The president did say in April, people want to wear a mask, they should wear a mask. We did have our health professionals early on saying it wouldn't help. And we know now that it would. We have additional studies. I was in the Oval Office yesterday when Dr. Burke was briefing the president before he went out there, and she said, look, we have these studies now that prove what we suspected, which is that masks help prevent you from spreading. It may help you protect you from getting it, but it definitely helps prevent from spreading. Here at the White House, we're tested every day. The president certainly is tested regularly, the vice president, those of us around them routinely. And so we know that the president is covered negative, and we don't know that about the rest of the country. So we're not pointing at Couple other topics here, if I may. First, this is from Nancy Pelosi, who has renamed the virus. Listen to this. He recognized the mistakes that he has made. By now embracing mask wearing and the recognition, this is not a hoax. It is a pandemic that has gotten worse before. It will get better because of his own action, and said clearly it is the Trump virus. No doubt that phrase is going to get more use as we get closer and closer to this election. Kellyanne. Well, that would be unfortunate because there's really no time for her petty partisan politics. We're trying to work together with Congress to get a phase 4 passed that the president will sign if it meets the goals. We have to help schools and families and to help small businesses and others low-income households. Martha. But this is what Nancy Pelosi